Shocking discovery. What if our solar system is much larger than we ever learned? Not just a little larger, but radically misunderstood. For decades, we believed that beyond Pluto, knowledge began. A cosmic abyss, a clear end. But right out there, something is happening that is shaking the foundations of astronomy. New observations show that the solar system doesn't end. It frays. And what we find there contradicts everything we thought we knew about gravity, planet formation, and even dead worlds. Beyond Neptune, there isn't silence, but a chaotic, crowded region of billions of frozen bodies, the Kuiper Belt. What is the Kuiper Belt? Not a graveyard of ancient debris, but a dynamic system that moves, collides, and lives. And it is precisely here that objects appear that should be impossible. Rings where rings shouldn't exist. Dwarf planets that deform themselves, and worlds that are internally active even though they see almost no sunlight. To understand this, we first need to clear up a common misconception. The Kuiper Belt is not a sphere, not a cave around the solar system. That's the Otroclear cloud, much further out. The Kuiper Belt is a thick, flat disk, a cosmic ring, aligned like the planetary orbits themselves. It is the direct remnant of the chaotic formation of our system 4.5 billion years ago. While the giant planets formed, an enormous amount of material was left over. In the inner solar system, ice evaporated due to heat, but far out, everything solidified. And it is precisely this material that we still see preserved today. These objects are not made of simple minerals, but of frozen water, methane, and ammonia, as hard as stone. It is the raw material from which Earth also formed, only never processed. And this region is gigantic. It begins at Neptune and extends well beyond 50 astronomical units. Not empty space, but an arakoth, the soft fossil of an overcrowded cosmic highway. One of the most important objects out there is called Arakoth. As a space probe in 2019 appeared, there is probably a second belt. Something unexpected. Not a round body, but two flat lobes gently joined together. No cracks, no breaks. This object is proof that planets didn't form through brutal collisions, but through slow, careful coming together. A cosmic embrace instead of an explosion. Arakoth is a fossil. It is exactly the same today as it was on the day it was born, and it shows us how it all began. But not everything in the cosmic belt is so peaceful. Haumea, the speeding planet. Haumea breaks every rule. A dwarf planet, elongated like a rugby ball, that rotates once on its axis in less than 4 hours. This rotation is so extreme that it deforms the entire body, probably triggered by an ancient collision. And as if that weren't enough, Haumea also has moons and a ring system. Quaoar, impossible rings. It gets even more absurd with Quaoar, a dwarf planet with a ring in a position where, according to physics, no ring should exist. Much too far away. A moon should have formed there long ago. Yet the ring has remained stable for years. No one knows exactly why. Perhaps the particles are unusually elastic. Perhaps there is an invisible shepherd moon. The only certainty is that our models are incomplete. Eris, a living ice world. And then there is Eris, the body that cost Pluto its planetary status. For a long time, Eris was considered frozen, dead within Earth. But new analyses show fresh methane on the surface, not ancient, but newly formed. This can only mean that Eris is warm inside. Radioactive elements heat the interior, generate pressure, and drive material upwards. The surface is constantly renewing itself. This world lives silently, slowly, but truly. The surprise is even greater with the Kuiper Belt itself, the second belt. For decades, we believed in a hard boundary at 50 astronomical units, the so-called Kuiper Cliff. Nothing beyond it, but space probes detected dust further out, and deeper sky surveys discovered objects between 70 and 90 astronomical units. This means population with a huge gap in between. Belt, or at least an outer one. Our solar system suddenly resembles the multiple disk systems we see around other stars. And then comes Sedna and Planet 9, the greatest mystery of all. Sedna, an object on an extremely elongated orbit. It never gets close enough to Neptune to be affected. But it's also not far enough out to be disturbed by other stars. Sedna shouldn't exist, and yet it does. And it's not alone. Several of these objects exhibit the same strange alignment. The probability of this is vanishingly small. The only plausible explanation: something large is controlling them, something invisible, a massive planet, 5 to 10 times the mass of Earth, deep out, slowly fading into darkness. Planet 9. Never seen, but its gravity leaves traces like a ghost's footprints in the dust. The Kuiper Belt has shattered and simultaneously expanded our understanding of the solar system. There is no clear boundary, no end, only a transition. A chaotic, vibrant frontier between us and the galaxy. Perhaps the greatest discovery isn't what we've found, but what's still out there waiting. And now the question: if our own solar system has been misunderstood for so long, what else are we overlooking in the universe? If you enjoy these kinds of in-depth analyses, then subscribe to Cosmos Actuel, activate notifications, and stay tuned, because what we discover next could change everything.